Welcome to Physio Global. To our regular listeners, yes, we're doing things a bit differently this time. We switched to English for a series of short, bite-sized episodes recorded live at the Pain Science in Motion Congress in Brussels. In this special format, we're diving into the latest insights straight from the venue as we chat with different researchers behind their inspiring poster and oral presentations, giving you quick, valuable insights. This episode is brought to you in collaboration with Pain in Motion. Happy listening. Yeah, welcome to another episode of Physio Global. Today we're at the Congress of Pain Science in Motion. And there's another speaker from the oral presentations as well on this episode. First of all, before we going back or heading back up to the subject of this podcast, I would like to give the speaker the space and room to introduce himself and what his background is at the moment.
First of all, thank you very much for having me at this podcast. So I'm Tom Frankenstein. This is how you pronounce it. I'm from Germany. I actually started as a clinical physiotherapist, and I'm now I would say largely involved in academia. I also work partly still in the clinic. So I see patients, mostly chronic pain patients at a clinic. But as I said, mostly I'm involved in research right now, and I'm currently doing my PhD at the University in Lübeck.
Yeah, it's nice to hear. And this the first one from Germany, so it's good to get focus on different research projects and from different countries as well, because we need to collaborate globally with research. So it's good to do this step as well. All right, the oral presentation. What was the title?
It was about whether the perceived spatial extent mediates the phenomenon of spatial summation of pain. So may I elaborate a little bit on this, because this might be overwhelming. So perceived extent, so basically what we did it on healthy participants, what people feel how large their painful area is. We stimulated mechanistically, so it's just noxious heat input, contact heat. And then people basically can rate with a trackball how big or how largely distributed basically their spatial extent feels. Of course, we also measured the pain intensity. So we had two rating tests. They rated continuously during their noxious input. And then we wanted to see whether this kind of established phenomenon of spatial summation in mechanistic research is partly mediated by the perceived size, and not only solely by the actual noxious stimulus input.
Okay, that's good to hear. And if you look at the setup, the design of this research, on which environment was it taking place? Was it the clinical practice or?
Yeah, no, it was basically our laboratory. We have a kind of huge laboratory there at our campus,
the university.
At the university, exactly. Okay. Very plain and typical research laboratory actually. Okay. And then people went there, and we did the study paradigm in there. Yeah.
And if you look at the sample size, how many participants were there?
We had 53 participants. We had we aimed for actually 54. We did our power analysis before. And then just one data set was a little bit skewed, so we had to extract this. So at the end, we had analysis for 53 participants.
And what makes this one unique in comparison of other research projects?
Yeah, so it was the first time that we, or anyone, really investigated the role of the perceived extent. So this is kind of new. So this was very interesting for us to see whether...
That was a big question from the research team.
Yeah, it was basically a research question based on prior research from ourselves. So it basically evolved from our study from 2025 by Adamczyk et al. Okay. And they saw that there's a huge discrepancy between the actual stimulus input and what we perceive. So this is what we call pain radiation. And this really large discrepancy led us actually to this research question. Is it really, I say it's complicated, but is it just the noxious input and then that leads to the percept of pain intensity, heightened pain intensity? or is it like modulated thing and perceived extent like mediates this effect?
It's about the mechanism behind it.
Yes.
How does it go?
Like how spatial summation comes up, basically. Like how is it working? Yeah.
Yeah, and you told before it's unique in that case, right? There's not much knowledge about it.
Yeah.
So it makes it more complex, I think, as a researcher to do the research on it. So
that's true.
How did you tackle that one? As your team?
We had some we took some inferences from studies that investigated mechanisms of spatial summation, but like they're not like a lot, but we know that's like probably a combination of peripheral, spinal, supraspinal factors. And there are some studies, like some of our lab also, that investigate supraspinal factors. And we, of course, like perception would like be one thing, because obviously it's like taking place in the brain. So we actually wanted to know like one supraspinal factor if it's involved like in the effect. Yeah. Okay.
And if you look at the perception one, because that one is a big factor as well from patients, is there a question also going on from the research team to find out what's going on in the perception web based?
Can you rephrase it a little bit?
Now it's you're analyzing the mechanism, right, behind the pain perception of the patient, but there's a perception from the patient mentally as well. So it's a complex thing, perception.
That's true, and that's why we wanted to like isolate the spatial part of this, like the spatial perception. If you
to do it more specifically on that stage.
Yeah, exactly. Because there, as I said, there are some hints that, like for example, other like supraspinal factors like attention or expectations, those can influence spatial summation. Actually, we showed that like in recent studies.
That was included before.
Yeah. Okay. And now we are just like wanted to see whether basically perceived spatial extent or the pain radiation effect that we demonstrated in the study before, if this is like a thing that mediates the effects. And this is what we want to know. Yeah.
If you look at the timeline from the research project, and which stage are you right now at the moment?
We are currently basically I have to say, like me personally, I write my thesis and I'm actually like submitting it probably next week, like fingers crossed, I hope so.
Okay.
But we like from the perspective of the experiment itself, we just write the manuscript currently. So we're done with everything basically.
Okay, it's just now waiting on.
Yes, we write the manuscript and then submit. Actually, yeah.
Okay. If we were in the future, where can listeners find some more information about this project?
Yes, that's a good question. I think, we will definitely preprint. We have pre-registered it, but we will definitely in the next, I hope, like the next weeks, we will like submit a preprint, and then there's like, I would say, the clearest way of like seeing what we actually done and with the nuances, because actually like one by sentence actually we also investigated like innocuous stimuli, so not only noxious heat but also innocuous tactile and warmth stimuli, and did the same procedure also there. So this is also interesting. So
is that one separately from this project, or is it just to compare it as well?
Yes. It's one project, and we did it on the 53 participants actually. Yeah,
okay.
And this would be the one I would recommend to look at the preprint. This will be followed. Maybe actually when the episode comes out, we can link it. But I'm not sure because like I don't know when it will be out. But yeah.
For the listeners who are listening to this one, we are sending the show notes with all the links. If you want to find out more about it.
Great. And then obviously also our projects on the university website. We can also link this. And then we have like several, let's say, related projects also, plus this one there on the website. And I hope that you can, you probably will be able to switch in English because it's obviously in German, but I think you can switch to English and then you can understand it. Yeah.
Okay. If you look out to the future for the questions you were asking with your research team, what brings the future?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the future I would frame it like very broadly, the future of research regarding spatial summation of pain. I hope, and also I like personally want to go into like clinical pain populations, because as I said, we did this on healthy participants. We did also this one that I mentioned before from 2025. We did this also on healthy participants. So the phenomenon of spatial extent and pain radiation and influence on the effect of spatial summation, I would really like to want to see it more in clinical studies also. So with clinical pain populations, obviously
to get it more implemented with the outcomes for the practice.
What would be? I would say that one could like argue that we don't know a lot. So of course, mechanistically and in experimental pain science and basic science, we need like lots of more like research and data on this. But I would like to have some more clinical data. There is on low back.
Just for your input for research team, or more for
everyone.
Yes. For everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always the case.
Yes, I would encourage everyone. Yeah. But as I said, that there is some data on chronic pain conditions like low back pain, the typical ones, fibromyalgia, knee osteoarthritis, for example, polyneuropathy, also from our group. But I think, for example, CRPS, that field would be very interesting.
For clinical data.
Yes. To my knowledge, there is not a single study on spatial summation effect on CRPS patients. So this will be, I think, definitely could be impactful in the future.
I hear a quote about that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this one will get a clear view for the listeners about the subject. And on behalf of Physio Global, we would like to thank you for joining in this episode. Thank you, the university as well, and the research team, for sharing knowledge, because we need each other in this moment. The clinicians, the researchers, and especially at the end for the patients as well. So thanks for that.
Thank you very much for having me. It was really a blast. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Physio Global. Would you like to discover more episodes? Then visit our website at physioglobal.nl. If you have a question or would like to get in touch, please send an email to info@physioglobal.nl or visit the contact page on our website. And of course, don't forget to follow us on social media. Physio Global, bringing the world of physiotherapy to you.